All right, you guys, total transparency, it has not been a sunshine and rainbows kind of start to our day today. Even though we eat healthy and move daily and get adequate rest, as our channel states, we eat, move, rest our best, that doesn't make us invincible. So what do we do when we're down in the dumps, when we're in the pits? How do we cope? How do we manage? How do we overcome? That's what we're gonna share with you guys today. Looking back at my track record, I can most definitely say I have struggled my fair share with anxiety, panic attacks, feelings of depression, as has Dusty. We have both openly shared a little bit of our history and our stories that you can watch. We'll link everything that we can think of in the description below. Now, having come up with all of these tools and techniques, some more involved than others, I have really learned how to cope with and also overcome a lot of my problems with panic attacks, anxieties, and even feelings of depression. First and foremost, number one, eat more plants. There is a very strong gut-brain connection when it comes to mood disorders like anxiety, depression, and stress. If you want to get happier, you have to get healthier. Incorporating more fruits and vegetables is super important because a plant-based diet is highly anti-inflammatory. So the first thing that comes to mind when I think of foods for your mood are prebiotics and probiotics. Things like cabbage, onions, garlic, leeks, and mushrooms. So these foods feed your probiotic gut flora. And we all know when we have healthy probiotic gut flora that is proliferating and expanding, then that equals a better mood, better digestion, and truly more clear in our minds. Another essential nutrient, omega-3 fatty acids. These are the best studied in terms of reducing anxiety and depression. So plant-based sources include seeds and nuts like chia, flax, hemp. Walnuts are a super great source. And also don't be afraid to incorporate a supplement. So we do take an algae-based omega-3 supplement, and I can definitely tell it helps me with mental clarity, alertness, and just feeling good. I feel like I could say so much about food, and a lot of it might sound textbook or like duh, but I can truly vouch for myself that when I started eating clean and healthy, I knew it was doing good for me on a cellular level, but it also empowered me. So on a mental level, that was something unexpected. I felt so much more in control in a good way. I felt like I was doing good, so I was expecting good outcomes, and I was actually reaping those benefits. So it was very rewarding, and I think that truly boosted my mood to continue on that healthy path. And now I've also come to recognize that movement has come in secondary to that. So I noticed that if I don't exercise, I start to feel really stuck in my mind a lot of times. And if I go out into the garage and I get in a good sweat session, or I go for a long run or a bike ride, or even just bouncing around on the trampoline with the kids and playing outdoors, I feel like that stagnant energy starts to really flow. It's like a train at standstill, starting to slowly pick up steam, and eventually you get to a point where you're trucking and you just feel like your mind is clicking and things are making sense. And I always leave my workouts feeling more energized mentally. So it definitely boosts my mood. And the science behind that is that we're getting a boost in endorphins and also dopamine because we're getting that sense of accomplishment. I definitely don't ever tell somebody to go get a gym membership. I haven't had a gym membership in years. I work out with free YouTube workouts in my garage. And if you don't have time for a full-blown workout, there's the 7-minute workout app. There's all kinds like it. Even just getting out of your chair and doing jumping jacks, or we have a little tiny rebounder trampoline that really helps to get your digestion moving, get your blood flowing, or dancing. We love to have dance parties in the evenings with our kiddos. They have so much fun and we always wind up laughing and just having a good time. Do what actually moves you. Do something you enjoy so you don't have to talk yourself into it on a daily basis.
Okay, so Erin is telling me I have got to speak to this one because it is definitely my thing. Sleep. Number 3, so important. I can say that all of my anxiety, stress, even feelings of depression all stems from a lack of quality sleep. So make sure to prioritize good, restful sleep. A lot of people say 6 to 8 hours. I say minimum 8 hours. Not only is it essential for healthy hormones and things like physical fitness, recovery, it is so important to rest and regenerate your mind it is like so crucial to me. If I don't get 8 hours of sleep, I just don't feel right and I can't think straight and I get anxious, and then things tend to snowball in a bad way. So you guys know I posted a video a couple years ago about my struggles. We will put the link to that below. You can listen to my whole story and history with panic, anxiety, depression. I eat a lot of tryptophan high foods because that produces serotonin. Tofu is actually super high in tryptophan, so we like to sneak tofu in whenever we can around dinner time. I used to actually take a 5-HTP supplement, which was a tryptophan that converts to serotonin, which again helps with mood, helps with sleep. Erin and I are almost always drinking sleepy teas before bed. We take things like magnesium orally, or we spray it and rub it on the skin. I also have a valerian root dropper that I drop into my teas to really help knock me out, and essential oils. So I have a lavender spray that I spray on my chest and I rub on my hands and my nose, and Max has started doing it with me too because it's a very soothing, calming essential oil that helps me sleep. Once I'm actually in bed, I pop my earplugs in, my eye mask on, I do some meditation and breath work. Deep belly breathing and or box breathing. If you guys aren't familiar with box breathing, it is a 4-second inhale, 4-second hold, 4-second exhale, 4-second hold. And you draw this box in your mind and you do this breath work. It helps to slow down the nervous system, calm your mind, it gives you something to focus on, and I guarantee it will help you fall asleep.
Piggybacking off of what Dusty said, number 4 is disconnect. So I don't necessarily mean ditch your devices. What I mean instead is reforming your relationship with your devices, because let's face it, we live in this digital day and age where they're basically impossible to avoid altogether. So instead, what I like to say is just stop the mindless scrolling, maybe even slow down on the creating, which I can fall victim to. Sometimes I just need to swipe all of the apps away and open up an audiobook. I am forever grateful for and indebted to Audible because it has rescued me from so many slumps. Dusty and I have shared an Audible account for several years now. We have quite the extensive collection of books, most of which are in the self-help or mental health category. In fact, the very first book that my mom introduced us to probably about 10 or 15 years ago was 3 Feet from Gold. It was such a simple, quick book to get through, but it left us feeling so empowered and inspired and just excited about life. It totally changed my outlook and my mood around what I'm capable of. And since then, I have been devouring so many Audible books on my long runs. And again, like I said, they leave me feeling so fired up and just ready to take on the world. In a recent video, I mentioned that I was listening to Jay Shetty's book, Think Like a Monk, as well as a parenting book called Peaceful Parents, Happy Kids. Both of those have helped me tremendously, feeling a lot better about where I'm going in life. And recently, I just downloaded one that I'm super excited to start devouring called Atomic Habits. This has been a top recommendation from so many people, and I recently did talk about discipline in another previous video, and having healthy habits is one of the biggest ways to stay disciplined, to stay happy, to feel your best, to feel motivated, and to combat stress and anxiety and depression. I also like to plug into Audible while I am running around with a kiddo on my hip, cleaning and tidying up, or while I'm getting ready first thing in the morning. So big shout out and thank you to Audible for sponsoring today's video. If you would like to try Audible free for your first 30 days, new members can get that special discount by going to audible.com/eatmoverest or texting Eat Move Rest to 500-500.
The last one I'm gonna mention is the 5 love languages. They like keep coming up as we're talking. Erin and I listened to this a couple years ago, and it actually brings us to number 5, which is physical touch and connection. That book helped Erin and I both realize that we both actually love and need physical touch. In fact, on our last retreat just a couple weeks ago, Erin was reading stats to the group about physical touch and how you need 3 hugs a day just to get by, 8 hugs to be baseline, and 12 hugs to actually thrive. So it was funny, we kept going around every day and doing like hugging circles to make sure we got our 12 hugs in, but it is so true. Especially now, we're like more connected, but physically disconnected than ever. So hug a stranger, hug yourself, do what you can to get that physical touch in, shake hands, high five. It really makes a difference in your mood mental health, and just how you feel. And connection, we all know, is so important. So a couple that actually came on our retreat has now come and rented a house right by us. We've been going to the beach together. We've been hanging out, cooking dinners together. We made new friends at the kids' library day last Thursday, and we've been hanging out with that new couple. The kids are playing together. Not only do we feel better, we are seeing the benefits for the kids, for our mental health and everything. So while I admittedly have gone through my fair share of therapists and currently have a mental health coach, the more we hang out with people and spend time with real people in real life, the less we feel like we need things like therapy. So highly recommend connection and physical touch.
So we came to Florida to escape the cold, to spend more time outdoors, and now some days it's honestly too hot, but we cannot complain. Either way, we have always been all about getting our daily dose of sunshine and vitamin D. So if you weren't aware, vitamin D is actually a hormone, and when you're outside and you're exposed to the sunlight, namely through your face and your eyes and your forearms, you're going to be getting the best vitamin D from the sunlight. Aside from that, maybe you're in an environment that's very cold, or maybe you live in New York City and there's not much grass around you. It doesn't matter. Getting outside is still going to do you so much good. I really feel like when I grab a hold of the kids by hand and Bo comes barreling out behind us and we're all barefoot in the grass, Dusty's digging in the dirt, planting trees, I'm just out there chasing Liv, Max is batting his baseball, and Bo is bumbling and bouncing. We are all smiling and feeling so refreshed and so good. Even on those cloudy or stormy days, the sun is still hiding up above the clouds. You can relate that to whatever current storm you may be going through in your life. The sun is still shining in there somewhere. You just have to dig for it a little bit. On our retreats, we were always encouraged to go barefoot as much as possible and to reduce our use of sunglasses and eyewear. Getting that direct connection to the sunlight helps to sync up your body's circadian rhythms, which helps you to sleep better at night. And going barefoot and grounding yourself also improves sleep and mood and also decreases pain. Okay, so I'm just gonna read this to you guys. This is on forestbathingcentral.com. So the earth contains all of these negatively charged particles. They abound on the earth's surface. You can get negative electrons by just planting your feet on the earth. And it says here, we inhale negative ions in environments such as the ocean, mountains, forests, and waterfalls. Think Costa Rica. Once they reach our bloodstream, negative ions are believed to produce biochemical reactions that increase levels of the mood chemical serotonin, helping to alleviate depression, relieve stress, and boost energy. So plain and simple, take your shoes off and go outside. Number 7, white space and or silence. They kind of go hand in hand. Now, this is very hard to come by with the 2 kiddos, but a lot of times Dusty takes the kids for an afternoon drive where they get to nap simultaneously, and I'm allowed a sigh of relief and a breath of fresh air. I like to head back into our bedroom where the afternoon sunlight hits, and it's just bright and white and clean and fresh in there, and I just flop onto the bed, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Sometimes it's just a little bit of breathing or meditating or praying or just kind of letting my mind have that white space. Like, how can I just think of nothing for a few minutes? Easier said than done, right? That being said, I always get this really elated feeling, almost like a euphoric sense, when I just have a few moments of clarity and silence and time to recuperate. Find that white space in between daily activities. It doesn't have to be 5 or 10 minutes. It could be 1 minute. Just try to break up your daily habits and practices. So in between getting out of bed and rushing straight to the kitchen for breakfast, find that gap. And then in between breakfast and work, find that gap. Like I said, 60 seconds. Just find it in between everything you do so that your day doesn't feel like it's a big hodgepodge, a blend of messy things that you can't really weed apart. Try to make each event its own thing with a space in between to recalibrate.
Number 8 is probably my favorite, and that is accomplishments. So yes, I'm a firstborn. Yes, I'm super type A little bit OCD. So I love accomplishing things and getting to tell people about it. So buying this house, number 1. Finishing a YouTube edit, or even simple things like making the bed, which by the way is an awesome Audible read. When we accomplish things, our body sends our brain a little hit of dopamine as a reward. Now this is good dopamine. different from scrolling on our phones or looking at things that maybe aren't the healthiest for us. This dopamine is good because it reinforces healthy habits. It motivates us to accomplish more and new things. So figure out what it is for you. Set a big, medium, and small goal. Again, I recommend something simple like starting your day by making the bed. It's a small, tangible accomplishment that sets you up for success. It helps build momentum and give you confidence to achieve bigger and greater things that day, that week, that month, and maybe even plan for a really big accomplishment this year.
Number 9, we could not leave out laughter and fun. When I bring up this one, I always think of my dad. He is the life of the party. It is just a barrel of laughs whenever he's around. I grew up watching comedy movies and it is still my favorite genre to this day. Dusty and I recently got to go see our favorite Adam Sandler in the flesh doing stand-up comedy here in Florida, and my face hurt so bad by the end of the night. It was literally like 1 year's worth of laughter in one night. So I highly recommend laughter because it was like such a mood booster for such a long period of time afterwards. It's a memory I will never forget. And also just having the kids around and playing and being a kid with them and just having fun, taking life a little less seriously. I get kind of wound up and caught up in my checklist and my to-dos and feeling like it's just a rat race. And I've really found that just taking some time to just play with them and laugh and giggle and be silly has made a world of difference. It always totally resets my mind.
So there was a handful of us on our last retreat that were talking about having a similar experience with panic attacks, anxiety, depression, all kinds of mental health scenarios that weren't obviously our favorites. And so we've been texting and messaging and talking amongst ourselves since we've been home from the retreat, giving each other tips and tricks and just sharing stories. And a couple of us kind of agreed recently that there's only so much you can do on a daily basis. We all go through highs and lows. I fall into the trap of thinking I should always feel good all the time, and when I don't, I kind of freak out about it. And I've learned to just kind of step back and observe my body and my mind as something that I don't necessarily need to control or always have to be judging when I don't feel super good, but rather accepting when I don't feel my best. This has enabled me to say, okay, today I feel this, as a statement and not necessarily attaching to it and making it my full truth. Accepting that, okay, today I feel a little bit wonky, but I trust that I'm gonna be okay. Then I do things like we said before. I do some breath work. I reach out to a friend. I give and or ask for some hugs and continue doing things that I know are good for me. Eating a good meal, getting some good exercise, making sure I get good sleep, and continuing to do the habits that I know are gonna serve me best moving forward. But also, like I said, accepting the fact that I'm human, we're all human, and that we're not always going to be thriving. There are ups and downs, just like there are changes in seasons, there are changes in mood. So be easy on yourself, be easy on your loved one, and continue putting one foot in front of the other. Reach out to us, download a good Audible book.
Right now I'm feeling like I need a little outdoor time, maybe a little white space.
All the things before the kids wake up and start making messes.
Yeah, I'm like, how many of these things on the list can I do before the kids wake up from their nap?
Right. So if you guys were digging on this video, you know the drill. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Please share this video if you found it helpful. That's the best way to help us grow and to get it in the hands of others that might find this video beneficial.
And if you guys are interested, definitely check out Audible, linked below in the description.
Yep.
New members get their first 30 days free. If you click the link audible.com/eatmoverest or text eatmoverest to 500-500,
Yep.
you can get hooked up with that deal. And if you have any book suggestions for us and for our Eat Move Rest fam,
Right.
pop those in the comments. We'd love to see your suggestions.
Until next time, eat, move, rest your best. We'll see you guys next Saturday.
Bye guys.
Peace.
There are 3 things we all do every day, and we could all be doing them better. Eat, move, and rest.
We're Dusty, Aaron, Max, Olivia, and Bo, and we're the Stanzics.
We aspire to live a plant-centric, faith-forward, healthy lifestyle and welcome all of the adventures that accompany it. Join us every week as we blend, chop, juice, run, lift, ride, and master our minds in between on the ultimate quest to find better balance, deeper connection, and true happiness within.